Hello, my friends. I am Ventox, your resident Danganronpa 2 addict, and today we may be wrapping up the game. I don't know how long Chapter 6 is going to be. Realistically, I expect probably one more stream after this to wrap it up, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what pace we'll go through this. I don't know if I'm going to have to stop and theorize for, 45 minutes. We'll see. Either way, though, I'm really excited. I've enjoyed this game very, very much. And I am sad to see it, being brought to its conclusion. And what a conclusion this is. What a bizarre turn of events we had at the end of our last stream. Now, unfortunately, I did actually lose my notes, my Chapter 5 conclusion notes. So, anything I wrote down there is lost to the VOD, which I have not reviewed. And my brain is gonna have to suffice for remembering what is left here. So, I definitely have a lot of ground to cover in our review of what happened in the last stream. So I'm gonna go kind of briskly. 45 minutes, didn't you theorize for like a whole hour last stream? To be fair, that one was a very complex and very unique case. But yeah, so to give the Cliff Notes versions of what happens at the end of Chapter 5. We go into the trial, and we ultimately decide that the only thing that makes sense is that Nagito's death was a suicide. And so we're like, okay, so that's that, right? Nagito committed suicide. And then we're like, no, something's still weird here. Like, Nagito wouldn't just do that. He definitely has to have a reason for doing that. And not only does Nagito have to have, like, some sort of reason for doing that, but he has to have, like, really thought this out in some super complex way, which of course is true. And so we ultimately arrive at, he set up this incredibly convoluted Rube Goldberg machine of a murder wherein he himself was the victim, but he was not the person who killed him because he forced someone to throw poison that would be inhaled and kill him, and then it would make it look like a suicide. And in the process of unraveling the whole mystery, the group would arrive at the conclusion that the person who killed him must have been the traitor. And we arrive at this conclusion because the traitor is the one that he wanted to be the killer, and because he is lucky, we just kind of assume that that is the case, and that causes the traitor to reveal themselves in order to save everybody else. And much to my dismay, that traitor was Chiaki, and she indicated that she was not able to reveal herself, to make herself known until this very circumstance arose. Because from what we have come to understand, she was an artificial person. I initially theorized she could be a robot, but I guess she's an AI instead. And she, from my understanding, her directives were, 1, to make sure that the class survives to the best of her abilities, and 2, to not reveal herself as the traitor. However, since keeping her status as the traitor hidden would have caused everyone else to die, she had to come out and reveal that. And in reaction to that, she is voted as the Blackened and was correct, and she is executed. So that is the end of the Chapter 5 trial. But then things get weird. Then things get really weird, where before she goes, Chiaki's like, hey, oh, also Monami's coming with me. Monami and I are just gonna go die together. And I'm kind of okay with Monami being gone. I don't mind that. Chiaki, however, was a heartbreaker. But before she goes, she's like, hey guys, the password to the Lost Ruins is 11037, which has no meaning to anybody else in the game currently, but to us in the real world who have played Danganronpa 1, that carries some weight to it. That has some meaning. And so Oh, it was Nagito. That's right. There was another video message. Yes, I stepped forward. Thank you. We go to bed. We wake up another day and a half later, and the timer is in like the last 8 minutes, or last 8 hours. And we wake up, and we go outside, and waiting outside our door is Chiaki, who we don't bat an eye at. We're just like, oh, hey, Chiaki, what's up? And Chiaki's like, hey, everyone's gathering in the restaurant, and there's a new video from Nagito. And so we go and we rejoin the other survivors with Chiaki, me, Chiaki, Kazuichi, Sonia, Fuyuhiko, and Akane, and also Mahiru, and we watch the remaining video from Nagito, where he basically says, hey, I don't know who survived. Either the traitor survived or the rest of the class survived. I wanted the traitor to survive, but either way, I'm just gonna leave this message for you. And he says a bunch of cryptic stuff, and then is like, basically, here's the password, and go have fun. And so we, along with that group of people and Saionji and Gundam, go back to the ruins, and alongside Ibuki and Byakuya and Teru Teru and Peko Peko and Nekomaru, we all open the door together using that password. And we walk in, and there is a trial ground, like one of the classroom trial grounds. Very bare, not super decorated in the same way that they typically are. And we're like, oh, okay, that is a thing, sure. And then the timer on the bomb in the center of the island winds down to 0, and Monokuma is like, oh, the whole world that Monami and World Ender, the future foundation, wanted to create, I'm going to destroy. And the world is destroyed. And that's how Chapter 5 ends. What is happening? So, I noted at the very beginning of the game this, like, matrixy, computery motif that has kind of been ongoing through much of the game, and my awareness of that has not gone away, but obviously it doesn't manifest meaningfully up until this point. So what it seems to be is that we are in some sort of simulation, and probably our consciousnesses are locked inside a machine of some sort, and that's what this world is. And the bomb that was like counting down is like a timer for a virus being let out. That would explain Chiaki's behavior and her like, I am an AI. Basically, like I was created and I cannot do these things that I was directed not to do. But what I find most interesting about these revelations, actually goes back to Chapter 3. And specifically what I am most curious about, as I scroll and I scroll and I scroll, here we go, is at the end of Chapter 3, Mikan had the remembering disease, which made her recall her dead lover from before the island. That person never hated her and forgave her, and she did her murderous penance. She remembers that World Ender is the Future Foundation, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm really curious is, did Mikan, by getting the remembering disease, like, remember the real world? And if that's the case, did she commit these murders and get outed as the Blackened, knowing that this was fake? And that she would, like, go back to the real world if she is released from, like, being in this game? I don't know. Another thing is, Monokuma, with 2 days left, said, congratulations, you finished the final trial, and now, because it's just the 5 of you left, we're done. And it was very specific about it being U5. Now, I don't know if that means these 5 specifically for a specific reason, or if it is there are 5 of you left and therefore we're done. I could see it going kind of either way, but I lean more towards the latter, thinking that it is because there's only 5 left, we're done here. And I'm wondering if that is, again, like a parallel to Danganronpa 1, which now we know is like A, incredibly deliberate, and B, directly meaningful and impactful on the plot. Because Danganronpa 1, the password to the very first case was the password to get into the ruins, which is where we have like a big reveal. So something's going on here with the cast of Danganronpa 1, or someone involved in Danganronpa 1, who is influencing events now. Yes, there were 6 survivors from Danganronpa 1, and so my thought is it's these 5 plus the mastermind, and that equals our 6th. And the mastermind in this case, I wonder if they are, or rather than the mastermind, I wonder if it is like the Future Foundation, like as the 6th, and then Monokuma is an X Factor. There is also one other X Factor to consider, which I don't know how it's going to be relevant, but like it's gotta be relevant somehow. What's the deal with the ultimate imposter? You wouldn't just introduce that plot element in Chapter 5 when the character died in Chapter 1 and just have it not be relevant. Just like, oh yeah, this character in Chapter 1 isn't who we thought they were. That's it. Moving on. No, that's gonna come up somehow, but I don't know how or what or why. Wait, ultimate imposter who? Yeah, so one of the things that you may have missed, Senpapi, is it is revealed that the class that we arrived with did not actually include Byakuya Togami. It included a character known only as the Ultimate Imposter, who was like so talented at assuming fake identities that they ceased to have an identity of their own. Yeah. And Monokuma guarantees that this revelation about Byakuya is exactly the truth. So, we know now that Chiaki was never a part of the class. We know also that Byakuya did not join us here on this island, though that does not necessarily mean that Byakuya is not involved in this somehow overall. I don't know, though. Finally, the only other remaining item that I had on my mind has just left it. I was gonna say something and it's gone, so I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and dive in. Yeah, there was something else I was gonna say, but I don't know what. All right, Chapter 0, heading to the school trip. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I can't remember the name of the program from the first game, the like Chapter 1, or the Chapter 3 program that Chihiro made. I want to say it was like Enigma or something. Alter Ego, that was it, Alter Ego. I'm wondering if Alter Ego has something to do with what's going on here, because we're definitely computerized in some way, and I drew a parallel between Chihiro and Chiaki as soon as I was introduced to her character. And if that's a deliberate design parallel, then I'll be very impressed. But I wonder, with like her being an AI and clearly being made for a specific purpose, and thus far like demonstrably being an AI who is made to protect the surviving class members, like that's just what Alter Ego was. You mean Chiaki was Alter Ego? Either was Alter Ego directly, or like was a byproduct or a remnant of Alter Ego, or like a fragment of something like that. I don't know. That's my current thought. So anyway, it would be wrong to say that the boat was rocking gently. It was actually shaking rather intensely. The room I was in, it was shaking from side to side. The shaking was quite irregular. Just when you thought it was a series of small shakes, it would suddenly shake violently. And every time that happened, I'd have to steady myself with my foot. I couldn't stand up very well, but for me it was comforting. I never thought not knowing what to expect could be so fun, so I was feeling rather excited. But I figured I'd get bored of that feeling soon enough. That's what I was expecting. For me, a person who is loved by talent. Detecting regularities among irregularities wouldn't be difficult? So, I thought this was Hajime, but this description is a little weird. For someone like me who is beloved by talent, detecting regularities among irregularities won't be difficult. Is this still Hajime? How boring. Do you like ships? On the other side of the dark room, I heard a voice. There's a window here with sunlight, like, directly pouring in. I don't know what you mean, dark room, buddy. It was clearly directed at me. We did not... Oh, okay, so... According to our current knowledge, Hajime does not have a talent. He was basically a backup student that was brought into the class at some point. Which is interesting, because that implies that there was a vacancy to be filled in the class. And why would that be the case? We don't know yet. You look like you were having fun, so that's what I assumed. You do like ships, right? Ships? That's right. That's it, so this is a ship. You just realized that now? Is it really that funny? Hey, if you want, care to talk a little? Silence was starting to bore me. Instantly, I saw his true character. The overfamiliar attitude, the friendly smile. But under that skin, I could detect a foul, offensive odor, like some kind of putrid slime. In a sensible way, of course, of course. How should I put this? It was a smell exclusive to those who were already finished. Nice to meet you. I'm Nagito Komaeda. Anyway, lucky me. It's been a while since anyone was willing to talk to me, so to share a room with a person like that. Yep, I'm definitely lucky. Lucky? Ah, so that's your talent then. What a boring talent. A boring talent, huh? Well, that's exactly what it is. But for someone I'm meeting for the first time to say that so suddenly... That's because I have luck as well. Huh? Even I possess a talent as boring as luck. Okay, I'm just gonna amend my current notes. Let's see. Possess, huh? I'm starting to get really interested. Who are you? Is this Naegi who's talking? I don't know, because I thought Nagito was Naegi. You're obviously from Hope's Peak Academy too, right? So you're one of us. But that's weird. This is the first time I've ever seen you. Hey, can you tell me why you're here? How did you end up here? How boring. Sorry. I'm often told I'm terrible at making conversation. Not you. This world. Huh? This world is full of boring people. People who lack talent stick together and oppress those who do possess talent. Even though they know they're insignificant, they don't try to acknowledge their true superiors. They are profoundly desperate to drag them down to their level. And because of these bastards, this world has come to a deadlock. This world has stopped evolving. How boring. Well, the world is shaped by the will of the majority. It makes sense that it bends to those who lack talent. That's why we're in our present situation. Perhaps... does that have anything to do with the reason you're here? I'm gonna actually say chapter 6/chapter 0, because this is kind of indicative of some sort of a prologue, and also it literally opened with chapter 0. Boring people make no contributions to the world, not even a speck of dust. That's why my teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. Okay, this is getting a little eugenics. My teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. Is this the whole world ender thing? Is this the world that the Future Foundation was after? Looks like they had high expectations for you, huh? That's completely different from me. But what are you planning to do? Now that you've ended up like this, there's nothing you can do, right? Listen well. Using people is a talent too. It is now my turn to use that person just as they used me in the past. That person. Are you talking about ultimate despair? But how? I mean, they're already... I have it with me. The contribution that person left me, even now it rests in my pocket. So, have we digitized the ultimate despair's consciousness, and that's how Monokuma exists in this digital space, perhaps? Is that kind of where we're going? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely lucky. I can't believe I'm speaking with someone as amazing as you. Oh. Then, will I be able to see her again? Oh, yep. There it is. That's gotta be confirmation. That's gotta be. Notes are hiding it. There's not much there. Not much. Nothing important here for you guys to see under the notes. Just some red fingernails. This is absolutely crazy, dude. Will I be able to see the person I hate with every fiber of my being again? All right. What's the importance of the fingernails? The fingernails are how we cracked the case in Chapter 6 of the first game, that the body that we thought belonged to the victim was actually the body of the person that we thought was Junko, but was actually Makuro, who was killed at the very beginning of the game, and her corpse was just recycled. And so this is like a calling card for either Makuro or Junko, the ultimate despair, in that way. This is like a super explicit tie-in to the cast of the first game. I also happen to really enjoy Junko as a character, so any further reference to her makes me very excited. And this time, will I be able to kill her this time? The person I hate so much? I'm not bringing the notes up just so I can type this sentence. Okay. What's with the bandages though? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm wondering if... I mean, this has gotta be... There's a missing link here somewhere. There's a missing link between the end of Danganronpa 1 and where we're at now. Because yeah, something is weird. I would imagine that this is indicative of like, this is not Nagito's hand, like this is chopped on in some sort of weird Frankenstein way. That's my first impression. But I don't know. Of course it's weird. It's Nagito. You right, though? Hate? Then explain your hand. Ah, this? The end of that bandage is a woman's hand, right? Isn't it amazing? I can't move it, of course. I mean, it's not my hand after all. But even now, it still hasn't rotted. Hey, maybe that means it's becoming one with me. Isn't it amazing? I have successfully become one with ultimate despair, my sworn enemy. I see. So you salvaged the body. You really are a boring person. Okay, so this appears to be right. He did Frankenstein his hand onto her. Is Sumaranai boring? I don't recall anyone losing their hand at the end of Danganronpa 1, so I don't know if he just like cracked and chopped off his own hand and replaced it. I don't want you to misunderstand. I just see her as my enemy, you know? Because she's my sworn enemy. Because I hate her so much. That's why I took her power. And for that, Wait, huh? Do I hate her? Huh. That's strange. Huh? Are we about to get another one of those glitches? No, maybe not. Every time there's been like a really long string of repetition in the last like chapter or so, we've gotten a weird glitch. Look out the window. We're finally here. You're starting to see it too, right? That's Jabberwock Island, isn't it? Isn't it exciting? I wonder what's going to happen on that island once we get there. What's going to happen? I can already predict what will happen. Huh? I already know because I am loved by talent. But no matter what happens, it's of no concern to me. I will not be able to participate in what lies ahead. Really? Okay, so this is not Hajime, presumably. This is our 16th person. I don't really understand, but I guess we have to part ways for a while. That's disappointing. We seem to get along pretty well. Hey, can I see you again? There's no reason that we'll ever meet again. After all, you are boring. Your talent, your thoughts, your entire existence is boring to me. You really don't play along, do you? Okay, that's the end of chapter 0. So I guess that was actually like a chapter 0, and now there's chapter 6 about to start. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, before I move on, for someone like me who is beloved by talent, detecting regularities among irregularities won't be difficult. I have luck as a talent as well. My teachers taught me that a certain degree of selection must be performed. It is now my turn to use that person just as they used me in the past. Who could this be? Obviously, that person is Ultimate Despair. Now, Ultimate Despair is generally assumed probably to be Junko, but Mukuro could be possible as well. I also wonder if the Ultimate Imposter is about to roll in here and if Mukuro is actually alive still, and the person who died in the beginning of Danganronpa 1 was also not in fact Mukuro, but was the Ultimate Despair, or the Ultimate Imposter, or something. And now Mukuro still lives, and now there's an Ultimate Despair still alive? Or if there's another ultimate despair that we're not privy to. Nagito is Naegi. Nagito is Naegi. Nagito has to be Naegi. I still don't have that 100% explicitly confirmed, but like, it's gotta be, right? It's gotta be. Both were Ultimate Despair, and Mikan After Remembering was the Ultimate Despair. Yeah, Mikan seems very key to this. Mikan's remembering thing seems like it holds a lot of clues, but I can't really divine what those are yet. Can these titles be inherited? Like, if the ultimate or something dies, then would the next best take over? So, I mean, there are multiple Ultimate Despairs. We know this. But I don't know if we have any, like, actual inheritance of that. I would expect the answer is no, from a literary analysis perspective, specifically just because of the callbacks to the first game that we have here. Like, we would not be including the red nails. We would not be including Naegi as Nagito hating the Ultimate Despair and, like, mentioning this rivalry that they have. So I don't know. I don't know where this is going yet. I like it a lot, though. Huh? What is this? Are we awake? Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the door. This is what the opening of the game was. It's a door. Let me remove notes for now. I wish there were a more elegant solution for this. There's a door. Huh? A door? Why is a door here? Where am I? How did I get here? Where am I supposed to go? So are we leaving the simulation now? Yes! No. We're restarting the simulation? Huh? Isn't this a classroom? But even so, it's a very strange classroom. Why am I in a place like this? I went inside the ancient ruin with everyone else. And I arrived at a place that looked like a trial ground. But then why? It's not connecting. I don't know why I'm here. It's like there's no connection between how I left the trial ground and how I ended up here. It's just like before, when we were all gathered in that classroom just before we arrived at Jabberwock Island. But where is this place? Is it somewhere on Jabberwock Island?
Ahem, ahem. Testing, testing. Mic check 1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system. Am I on? Can everyone hear me? Okay, well then.
Welcome to Hope Speak Academy, you guys! At this point, I shall explain the graduation exam to you all.
All right. This seems relevant. What did I miss? Nagito has Mukuro or Junko's hand, and someone wants to kill the Ultimate Despair, and we're in Hope's Peak Academy, and the graduation exam is about to begin.
So please assemble at the gymnasium immediately!
If I get to navigate school again and it's exactly the same as it was in Danganronpa 1, I'm gonna flip. Did he just say what I think he said? Yeah, he definitely said it. He said, "Welcome to Hope's Peak Academy." But why would this place be Hope's Peak Academy? And not just that. What is the graduation exam? Isn't the killing over already? Yo, come on, come on, come on. Do it, do it. Yes! 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 I'm so happy! Even the hallway doesn't feel like a school at all. What a creepy place. At least it doesn't look like a normal school at all. It's definitely a lie. There's no way this place is Hope's Peak Academy. Is this creepy place the Hope's Peak Academy that I've admired for so long? It's Probably a building that Monokuma made to startle us, just like the funhouse. That's right, that's definitely it. Monokuma said to come to the gymnasium, right? Then I'll go, and definitely clear things up. Yo, I'm so happy! Oh my god, yes! There's the dorm rooms, here's the first classroom, here's the second, there's the Monokuma room, here's the AV room with the Eye of Ra for some reason, here's the shop where I play the terrible minigame, this is the front entrance, here's the nurse's office, here's the men's room, here's the women's room, there's the upstairs, and here's the gymnasium. I'm so happy. I love this setting. I love this setting so much. Look, the little weird funny lights that exist for no reason that you can just run around in circles. Aw, man. I love Danganronpa 1 so much. Despair Hotel. Event going around like being at a school reunion. I missed it, you know? Like, the setting for Danganronpa 2 just didn't have the same foreboding that this weird school does. The weird school is so disconcerting in the best possible way. The gymnasium is here, right? Alright, I'm going inside. Something might be waiting, but I'm not going to cower away anymore. And so I braced myself and cautiously opened the door. This is the end. Goodbye, Academy of Despair. We don't have daily life. Senpapi said, I feel like the most likely murder targets are the coach, because after Sakura, I feel like he'll be another gentle giant, and also he's massive, so, oh wow, who could have possibly beat him? Byakuya for reasons stated earlier, Hiyoko because I'm sure she'll piss everyone off in the end, Chiaki because a gamer makes an easy target, and I'm sure there's someone who will take that opportunity. Well, you got 3 out of 4 there. So not bad. I wasn't prepared for what was waiting for me on the other side of that door. It was a normal gymnasium.
Damn right.
Yo, Hajime.
Yo,
You heard that announcement and came here too? You guys did too, right?
What's going on?
Hey, what do you make of all this? Monokuma said this place was Hope's Peak Academy or something? That cannot be possible.
Well,
You're right. Any way you look at it, it's impossible. Hello! How does it feel to return to long-awaited Hope's Peak Academy?
Why,
You! Hey, where are we? Where'd you lock us up this time? What a shock! I just told you guys this is Hope's Peak Academy.
Of course not.
There's no way in hell that's true.
no.
Oh, but it is. I mean, this is definitely Hope's Peak Academy. Well, what's left of it anyway? What's left of it?
What?
Didn't I tell you before? Unfortunately, Hope's Peak Academy fell to ruin.
Lies.
You were serious about that?
Stupid fool!
I don't believe it. But of course it fell to ruin. I mean, they were doing things they deserved to be ruined for. What do you mean?
I don't like this.
Anyway, I'm pretty disappointed. I went to all this trouble to bring you to Hope's Peak Academy, and you don't feel surprised or nostalgic.
Fine.
Oh well, it's not like I did this for you guys. Even if you don't feel nostalgic, I'm sure someone is feeling nostalgic right now. It's me. I'm the nostalgic one. Thank you, Monokuma. Someone? However, this is noteworthy, I think.
Don't fuck with me.
Enough with the bullshit, just spit it out already. Where'd you take us, you bastard? Though I am not certain of my memories, I believe we entered the ancient ruin and...
In other words,
It means I made this Hope's Peak Academy between the door to the ruin and the inside of the ruin. What do you mean between?
Hey.
What do you mean made?
What's this?
Oh my! Are your minds getting the grumblies that only knowledge can satisfy? Good, very good. It's fine to hurry along to the graduation exam, but it's in my nature to provide a little entertainment. Entertainment? You're planning to make us do something, aren't you?
No way!
It's nothing to be so cautious about. It's not like you'll be making life exchanges or anything like that.
Shing!
It's just a simple graduation exam.
Huh?
Then, what is the graduation exam?
Hey!
Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know? On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate.
Are you sure about
But on the
this?
other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will really be okay in the outside world.
So...
That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. Huh?
Why?
We're obviously gonna get out. There's no way we'd stay here.
That's right.
This is annoying. Just hurry up and let us choose. Let us choose right now.
No, no, no!
You can't do that. The main cast hasn't arrived yet. What is the point of any of this? So, we're definitely in some sort of digital space. Which someone must be observing. Let me review some notes here, because whoever this is wants to use the ultimate despair, specifically a contribution that was left to them. So is there anyone who would be sympathetic to the ultimate despair that would be trying to put on a show in front of the survivors of the first game? Obviously, Naegi becoming the ultimate hope puts him in a direct conflict with the ultimate despair, but we think that Nagito is Naegi. So is someone else, actually? Who did Nagito... So this is about the traitor, which we learned is Chiaki. Monokuma knew it was Chiaki the whole time. Monokuma refuses to let Nagito work with him. Nagito wants to become True Hope. Monokuma is waiting for a certain someone. I had assumed that certain someone would be Naegi. Could it be, like, Kirigiri instead? It really can't be Asahina. It really can't be, Yasuhiro. It can't be Byakuya or Toko, I don't think. The ultimate imposter has to slip in here somewhere. There has to be something with the ultimate imposter that's filling in a gap that I can't quite see yet.
Hey!
Meaning, you guys are just extras until the guest of honor arrives.
Damn it!
So enough complaining already! Hurry up and start researching the outside world! What do you mean?
Uh-huh.
I have dispersed all the teaching materials you need for your research throughout Hope's Peak Academy. Well, I don't think this needs to be said, but all the information is accurate and contains no lies whatsoever. Otherwise, the main cast is gonna hate me. So, please rest assured and strive to do your best during your field trip. And as usual, after leaving us with his cryptic words, Monokuma disappeared. Even if the setting had changed, even if the killing was finished, he was still the same as usual. What is going on? Outside world? Main cast? Somehow, I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey, hey.
Like, he kept insisting this place is Hope's Peak Academy. But that's impossible, right?
What are you saying?
How do we make it back to Hope's Peak Academy from a tropical island in the first place? It's impossible.
It cannot be.
There is no place for Hope's Peak Academy to exist on Jabberwock Island. I said I want to go back, but I didn't want to go back to a creepy place like this. What does this mean? So many things I don't understand have happened on this island. This building is really Hope's Peak Academy? This is the Hope's Peak Academy I've been admiring for so long. What in the world is going on? Damn it, why is this happening? Why? I was finally able to attend Hope's Peak Academy. I finally thought I'd become confident in myself. Even so, I wanted to become Hope. If that's what you're thinking, just stop it. Listen carefully. The only humans worthy of becoming Hope possess amazing talents and a strong will. And the moment you're born into this world, you either have that or you don't. It has nothing to do with effort. You must be chosen by Hope to become Hope. That's why it's not even worth admiring. Or were you so blinded by your admiration for Hope's Peak Academy that you couldn't even see that? You're just some nobody from the reserve course who never had a talent to begin with. Yeah, every time we get one of these flashbacks of John Strawberries, I'm like, this has to be relevant somehow. Like, Kirigiri's dad was relevant. The principal of the school or whatever he was, the headmaster, like that was relevant. And us deliberately, literally framing John Strawberries up here and bringing this back multiple times, that has to be relevant as well. John Strawberries? Yeah. This guy up here, this guy in the picture. He was the original founder of Hope's Peak Academy. If I really am a nobody, then you should have just let me alone. Why? Why do I have to go through something like this? Hajime, did something happen? Huh?
Hey, bastard.
Now's not the time to zone out. Sorry, it's nothing. I don't really get it, but is that all?
I'm gonna do it!
As long as I don't beat the crap out of Monokuma, nothing's gonna be solved. Is that what it means?
Hey.
Just what the heck is Monokuma anyway? He's not part of the Future Foundation, right? If you say that, then what is the Future Foundation?
Jeez.
Even though Chiaki and Monami are gone, our situation hasn't changed one bit. Which means the Future Foundation wasn't our enemy. That's the only thing I can think of.
You serious?
So they're not World Ender? Then we really were tricked by Monokuma?
However...
The Future Foundation is responsible for trapping us on this island, right? Regarding that matter, I believe Monami never once denied that.
Damn it.
Even if there are allies, they might not just be allies. Maybe Monokuma's telling us to investigate that information on our own. Chiaki said she could not betray the Future Foundation. But if she were still alive, she definitely would have helped us. No, even her just being with us would have been a big help. So what should we do now?
Damn it.
Well, that's obvious. If we're gonna get out of here safely, we have to do that graduation exam, right?
So annoying.
Graduation exam, huh? I'm not really good at taking exams. Well, I guess it's better than people dying.
Jeez.
Monokuma said something about a field trip, right? Is he telling us to investigate like we have been?
All right!
I'm gonna do it! I know that is a voice line that we've already got. I don't know why they didn't play it.
Prepare yourself.
Like...
Yeah, we might be able to learn about something. About Hope's Peak Academy. About ourselves. I don't care if we don't know anymore. If we can just go back to our normal lives, I'm fine.
Hey!
Hey, can we go home when this is over? We can finally get off this damn island, right? If that's the case, let's all leave this island alive by any means.
Of course!
Hell yes! He's right. Now's not the time to bemoan how unlucky I am. Where this place really is. What's happened to Hope's Peak Academy? None of that matters. What's important is, I need to leave this island with the others. We sacrificed so many lives in order to survive just so that we could do that. There's no way we can stop now. But Monokuma should already know that that's what we're thinking. So why did he say that? We have to decide on our own whether or not we want to leave Jabberwock Island. He should already know that we'd never choose to stay on the island.
Hey, hey!
So what are we gonna do? Can we start already? But what are we even looking for? Don't we just have to investigate this weird-ass building?
Even so.
I don't think we'll find the answers to all our questions inside this damn building. Well, I'm just gonna go on ahead for now.
Whoa!
Hey, you're already going?
Jeez.
Oh, what is that idiot thinking running ahead without being cautious?
Man.
She obviously isn't thinking about anything.
However,
It will be fine. There will no longer be any situations where we must exchange each other's lives.
all right!
So we should do our best as well. Like they say, it is not scary if everyone stops at a green light. If we stopped the green light, we'd never reach our goal.
Jeez.
Kane already took off on her own. Might be faster if we split up and look around too. Like Sonia said, if there's no more killing, we don't have to worry about anyone betraying us anymore. Then let's get this over with and go home.
Later.
I'll go on ahead. See you guys later. With those brief words, Fuyuhiko left the gymnasium.
Excuse me?
I shall do my best to obtain a wonderful clue that will be useful to everyone. Now then, please excuse me. Sonia took a deep bow and left the gymnasium.
Oh my.
Miss Sonia,
Miss Sonia!
please don't leave me. I'll be in danger if I'm left alone. Kazuichi chased after Sonia, who had just departed, and left the gymnasium. I should hurry and start too. Just a bit more. Just a bit more and it's going to end. I can escape this nightmare and return to my usual peaceful everyday life. The only thing we can do is advance toward that hope. Even though I don't understand. And that's a lot more horrifying things keep happening. For the sake of everyone who couldn't make it this far, I'm definitely going to go home. Well, we have an investigation phase. Oh, hello. Oh, is this the missing Chapter 1 Monokuma that I've been waiting for this whole time?
I knew you could do it.
I'm glad I looked around. Doesn't look like there's much for me to actually investigate here, though. I have a specific spot that I'm curious if it's gonna let me investigate. Which I'm not there, because I'm on the 5th floor now. Huh? That's weird. This is the hallway that I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but it's clearly different. Is this Monokuma's doing too? Is he trying to confuse us again? I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. He's so persistent. But I'm not gonna fall for his trap. There's no way this will make me back down. Well, darn, that's sad. I will say it's nice that we have an explanation now for how things got weirder than they were in the first game. Because, like, in the first game, yeah, there's still a lot of very over-the-top stuff with, like, the machine guns and all of, like, the bolted-in windows and the despair and the tragedy, whatever. But, like, in this game, it literally started with a chicken transforming into a cow or vice versa. And, like, that was already completely outside the scope of anything that had happened in the first game. So I like that we're actually a little bit more grounded than we started. This hallway, there is a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall has been erected to limit our movement.
I am concerned.
Is it just me? If I'm on the 5th floor, where am I most interested in on the 5th floor of the building? Probably the classroom where the tragedy supposedly originated, but I can't go there. And I can't go here to the bio lab. This is the room that I'm most interested in because the actual origin of the tragedy is still an open item for discussion here in Danganronpa 2. Okay, so then between the garden and the martial arts room, I mean, the garden is obviously more interesting. Darn it. Well, the martial arts room it is. Is this a dojo? It's full of strange things that make me think that we're no way inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of this building to make sense. There's a straw post. I guess that means it was used for training. There are a bunch of wooden lockers here. Each of them has a traditional-looking woodblock key sticking out of them. I guess they're just for show. Nothing in particular that looks like a clue. It's armor and a helmet. Did the map developers design this to reflect a Japanese dojo? This cherry tree is in full bloom. It may be a tasteful sight to see a blooming cherry tree inside a dojo, but in this situation, it just looks bizarre. That target seems pretty far away. If the production team had more time, there could have been a minigame in here. Wait, what am I saying? Alright, we're really breaking... Well, we're not breaking the fourth wall yet, but we are leaning on the fourth wall very heavily. What is this? Oh, is that? The title is Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma? No, it's not. Why is a manga with a suspicious-looking title laying out in the open like this? In the dojo. Manga for Morons. What was it? Something Guide to Hope's Peak Academy? A History of Hope's Peak Academy. Let's start with a history first, class.
Hey,
Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. Then what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person. So just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That totally explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way that I can do that. Fine, I'll look at it. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what it is. I picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history as narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. Hey, what's up, Shinjo Kid? Chapter 0 was... exciting. Chapter 6 is exciting as well. I'm really, really eager to see where this is gonna go. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it's also a school for researching talent as well. The manga says Hope's Peak Academy is not just for cultivating talent, but researching it as well. Gonna be lurking mostly because I'm at the mall with friends. Oh, have lots of fun! However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from decline in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent. So they decided to implement a new system, the Reserve Department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees for the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to the talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right, it was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident and forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Well, not a whole lot of new information in that. To us as the audience. In canon, Hajime does not know this, but The ending was so sudden, like a manga that was suddenly cancelled in the middle of its run. Plus, these phrases mentioned at the end of this manga, the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. These names are so melodramatic, there's no way these incidents really happened, right? This manga only mentions the names, so I don't really know all the details, but no, it'd just be a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. More importantly, I learned something because of this manga. The reserve department. That department was only built to collect money. I was one of those reserve course students, right?
But hold on.
That's weird. Oh, you're here again. Ah, the thing that's weird is you, of course. Huh?
Hey!
Why did you forget that you were part of the reserve department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that too. My gut instinct on this is that I actually am the ultimate imposter, and by virtue of being beholden to my talent and not having a true identity of my own, in losing, the last 2 years of memories, I basically just lost everything. If I forget my talent, but I have no identity, then what do I become? Nothing. What do you want me to say?
By the way...
Based on my assumption, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of the Reserve Corps students.
I got it!
Or you willingly sealed those memories yourself. Huh? You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened. It happens pretty often. Not that I'd know anything about that, though. Are you saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it.
Come on!
When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Well, that's expected of a Reserve Corps student. I mean, I guess I could also be an ultimate despair. I mean, that would follow if I was involved in the tragedy. Damn it, what the heck? Oh, we were getting truth bullets. A department populated by Reserve Corps students who took general course exams, blah, blah, blah. All right, what floor are we on now? I'm guessing 2. Ah, darn. Oh, really? Interesting. Can I go? Ah, dang it, man. I want to go there. I'm so curious about this room specifically. Hey, I leveled up. Oh. Sorry, Chibi me, but I'm not sorry.
What's going on?
This hallway, it's kind of creepy. I can't go to places that I should be able to go to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something. I guess to the stairs? Oh no, to this classroom. Well, this classroom isn't the one where all the stuff happened. This is the classroom where Poco found a knife, I think, if I recall correctly. Chibimi evolved to Ghost type, my favorite type of Pokemon, as a matter of fact. Not only that, a friend of mine, very, very good friend of mine, just like the day before yesterday, gifted me this Gengar EX Pokemon card, and Gengar is my favorite Pokemon, so this is just awesome, and I'm so excited for this. I cherish this. This is another manga. It's laying on top of the desk. This one is Manga for Morons, The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Wasn't The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy mentioned in that other manga too? It's why Hope's Peak Academy went bankrupt, and it was the trigger for the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. If I read this manga, will I be able to learn a little more about the incident? So that's Jin Kirigiri, I think. right? It's gotta be. I took the manga from the desk and started flipping through the pages to see what I could learn about the event known as the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is, as the name suggests, the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamukura. There it is! John Strawberries Jr., I think. Did I actually write down John Strawberries' real name in Chapter 4? Yes, I did. Okay. So that is actually just the name of John Strawberries. Izuru was a genius known as the symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop him. Okay. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding a superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. Okay. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at Academy were completely unaware of his existence. But Izuru, who was known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy's student council, among the Academy's best and brightest. What did they do? Did they discover him? Were brutally murdered by Izuru. No, they did not. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and concealed the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use the incident to their advantage. Okay, so this certain student one can assume is probably Junko. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of the Reserve Corps students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated, and the uprising began. Okay. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. This is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Okay, so real quick, back to Chapter 3. Man, a lot of stuff happened in Chapter 3. Let's review what we learned from the Monami file. Or the Usami file, actually, it was called. The students of the Reserve Department were dissatisfied with being treated differently and began to fight the Academy. At first, the dispute was confined to campus. Things escalated. Behind the scenes of that rebellion, a huge authority was exerting its influence. Eventually, it spread like an infection, provoking riots. It was unlike any previous act of terrorism or coup d'etat. It seems we have a much different purpose. However, no matter what we assume, we simply cannot apply this to the subversive movement. Nonetheless, the destruction is not chaotic or disorganized. It is a subversive movement full of despair. The Academy became the origin of the incident, was forced to put an end to their long history. As for the students who survived, they were forced to kill each other as a lesson in despair. Well, yeah, that doesn't really tell me a whole lot in conjunction with what we've got. Eventually, that incident would lead to the horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Works cited Danganronpa 0. What year did this come out? With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Academy. DZ is a real short novel, by the way. Huh. I'll have to read that. What irony! For a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such a gruesome incident. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be so lucky that you're incompetent. Damn it, he always has to lead up to something offensive. He seriously pisses me off. But ultimate hope. Nagito mentioned that before too, but it looks like it means something completely different here. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd given me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. That's right, the reserve department. Here it said the reserve corps students in the reserve department began uprising. Then what about me? Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's no way I have reason to do something like that. The tragedy of Hope's Peak has been added to my thing. Okay. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is a far worse incident, right? What kind of incident was it? And who's this other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage. Who is that? This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries keep piling up. Like, we've gotta eventually hit a name drop of Mukuro or Junko. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Damn it! Damn it! Yeah, here we go, to the biolab. The definitely not a morgue. What the hell is with this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I could get out of here already. Hey, buddy. What you doing under there?
I've been found.
Did I miss one in the previous room? Or in the dojo? I don't think so. This looks like a plastic tarp. Why is this left out like this? Clean up after yourself, will ya? I've seen this in movies before. This is a refrigerator for preserving dead bodies. At least that's what it looks like, but that's not possible, right? Keeping dead bodies in a high school biolab isn't something you should joke about. It just feels so forced. This idea should have been canceled during development or something. What am I thinking? This is such a meta commentary. There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Alright. Manga for Morons. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Tibmam Te. I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident really about? It might just turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and I hoped that I was right. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident in itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak killed the weakest among them, and soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times where senseless death was the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point that where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world, a war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy. A group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. So, this is expanding on something that was very, very loosely touched on in the original game. I am recalling that at the time I had a theory about how things came to be the way that they are, but the question was open as to whether the ultimate despair as a group was restrained to just Mukuro and Junko. The answer appears to still be no. At first I thought the answer was no, and then towards the end of Danganronpa 1 I was like, oh, I guess it is just the two of them, because we know that they were, Mukuro was involved with Fenrir. Junko was not involved with Fenrir, but was also part of the Ultimate Despair. So I'm curious if we're gonna get more elaboration on how the Ultimate Despair came to be as an influence. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What's happened to them?
No way!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this?
What?
Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. Enough, what is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you to not remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it. There's no way that's possible.
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real!
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I see. So that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning. Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, I'm really happy you're about to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on the island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps... No, that's definitely it. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this ultimate despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then, are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? It's no use, I'm going to freeze to death. I'm at my limit, I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. Still on the 5th floor. Come on. Phew, that was close. I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? Come on, 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 come on! Into the murder room! Ah, I want to go in the murder room. This is the room that I had the most questions about in the first game. Ah. Oh, you know what? I can actually go check out the other rooms in case I missed any Monokumas. So Mikan was part of that group then? I don't know how strongly we can take the Mikan Ultimate Despair thing. Like, I think Mikan might have, like, said that, but not meant it as, like, I am part of this group. I think that might have been more I recognize that everything that I understand is false. I have remembered a reality that broke me as a person, and therefore ultimate despair. Or I don't even think she self-identified as ultimate despair. I think someone else identified that way for her. Might have been Nagito. So I don't think that Mikan is ultimate despair. I do think, however, that she is still pretty key to figuring some stuff out, and I have not figured that out yet. No, I should ignore it. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see him. But are there any other Monokumas around? I don't see any.
Hiya!
Why, hello, Hajime! I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here?
No, no!
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up, what did you need to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for.
What?
Surprise! It's about ultimate despair. Huh? Ahem. Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days,
Actually...
it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive. Okay. Okay. A high school girl?
Yes, indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima. Finally, we get the name drop. Junko Enoshima.
Hey,
As the former Ultimate Despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the Ultimate Despairs. Okay. There was one really horrible person in that group.
don't fuck with me.
Hold on a sec. I don't know what the Ultimate Despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There was one really terrible person in that group. Okay. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Unbelievable.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power.
Phew.
Her connections were the main reason the incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat.
Huh?
Then what was their purpose?
Huh?
What? Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
Hey,
It was Junko Enoshima's despair. Huh? For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is so full of despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair. What the hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the Ultimate Despairs one by one, okay? She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so the Ultimate Despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair. All in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible.
what?
Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days?
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. Hey, what do you mean final days? What happened to the Reserve Department?
of course.
They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do, and so the 2,357 students of the Reserve Department all committed mass suicide! Wow, okay. $357. Mass suicide?
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students. Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. One person was excluded, huh? that me?
Damn it!
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate Despair, Junko Enoshima. Doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima is already dead. We know this from the file, right? Fuyuhiko knowing this is not a revelation, right? Huh? Yo, my girl! There she is! Ultimate Despair has been added to the truth bullets. Reserve department has been updated. My girl, Queen Junko. I love her so much. This is metal slabs are covering portions of the classroom where the windows would usually be. These better not be remnants of the killing school life.
What?
What a surprise! Do you want to hear about the Ultimate Despairs again? No, I don't really need you to. Even though the term Ultimate Despair refers to a group these days, it was actually a term used to describe Junko Enoshima, the original Ultimate Despair. He just started on his own. Oh my god, is it actually just gonna go through the whole thing?
What?
It's fine already, but I'm just getting to the good part. Good part or not, I've already heard this before. Okay, so how do you know this? Hey, Fuyuhiko, is it true what you just said? Junko Enoshima is already dead?
Huh?
What? You didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons and Killing School Life in that bloody classroom. Fuyuhiko got to go in, why didn't I get to go in? That's some bullshit. A bloody classroom? No, wait, what was that you said about the Killing School Life? Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took their own life because all the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. The Killing School Life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy.
Hey,
For a manga about the Killing School Life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed Killing School Life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead.
like...
Turns out that the Killing School Life was a part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope's Peak Academy. And she took away their memories. That's just like us. Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing?
So...
The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as a symbol of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up. But that messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life. Then Junko is no more. No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter.
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore! Then, who is our enemy? If Junko Enoshima is already dead, are the rest of the Ultimate Despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in resemble that Killing School Life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but... An imitation is just that, an imitation.
No shit!
If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to someone fake. But if this really is an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? The cameras all over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting to somewhere just like the surveillance cameras during the Killing School Life? Killing School Life has been added to the truth bullets. Junko Enoshima has been updated. Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? What? Do you have a problem with that? Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it.
What are you gonna do?
Oh well, I'll just raise the flag. Flag? What do you mean raise the flag? What's gonna happen if you do that?
Ooh.
One step at a time. You're getting closer to clearing my character route. You're not making sense again.
Well now.
Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy. Whoop, 4th floor, let's go. Huh? It changed to a different hallway again. It's so sudden. What's going on to make something like this happen? No, I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right, there's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. Music room, music room, music room. Wait, no, that's the 3rd floor, right? No, that is the 4th room. Yes! Yes, the music room! Danganronpa 2 is just fixing all of the problems I had with Danganronpa 1. Akane's twitching her nose like a beast and examining her surroundings. Hey, what happened?
Based on my gut
Well, you
feeling.
know, it's just my gut, but I feel like someone's getting closer. Huh? What do you mean, who?
So,
I don't know. It's just my gut after all.
It's just my gut.
But still, her gut is pretty impressive. For some reason, it's strangely intuitive. And Monokuma did say something about the main cast coming. It's surprising, but her gut must be correct again this time. Why is that familiar? Someone's standing here and, like, smelling something. Did that happen in Danganronpa 1, or am I just making something up? Clearly, this game was made to appease Vent in particular a decade after the release. Finally, plot-relevant information happening in the music room. This looks like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange. Yeah, the fact that there's no stairs to get up on this stage, that's a safety hazard. It's a very nice looking grand piano. It might be very valuable. Ibuki might have been able to play this. What is this? Words are floating in the air. This is like a hologram, right? The floating letters are forming a sentence. It looks like a passage from an email. Alright. I'm gonna move the notes over here for right now. Just so that you guys can read that. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information. Person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. So this could be in reference to either the main cast of the first game or the main cast of this game. If they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by ultimate despair. We believe, okay, so this is the Future Foundation getting the cast of this game. We should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Oshima rallying them. In a worst case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. Okay, so I had theorized a while ago, like a while ago, that the Future Foundation might be the surviving members of the first game, probably minus Naegi. And my thought was, I think I had said at the time, like, they used Byakuya's family resources and the Togami, like, fortune to establish the Future Foundation and then to, like, purchase Jabberwock Island and try to start recovering the world and, you know, creating ultimate hope and all that. This feels to be possibly in line with that. Also, if they are survivors of HPA, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. That was Chapter 5, Part 1. Boy, feels like ages ago. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins, and we haven't located them either. It would be nice if I could copy-paste this. We will continue investigating. Oh god, there's more. Regarding a separate matter, we have received a report. Aha! We have received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program, which is this simulation that we're in. Survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, 15 students. Is that about us? Excluding Chiaki, who was part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us, but what does survivors mean? It's like they're talking to from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore. Maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. I'm just looking for Monokumas, and this particular room feels like it could be very sneaky in hiding a Monokuma somewhere. But I don't think there is one. I note the Mirai up at the top there. Looks like it's some sort of monument. Why would there be a monument in a music room? And not just that. The mark engraved into the monument is the symbol of the Future Foundation, right? Below that symbol, there's a short passage engraved. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy. Oh, I missed it. Do it again, I missed it. Oh, Tay? I think that's Tay. Yeah, let's go. We're among the many who established the Future Foundation. Oh, I missed another one. Dude, this doesn't work so well when I'm transcribing lore. That is bad at Hiragana, true. Huh? The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy? Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma, he completely made it up. I guess that's all the clues in this room. It's finally confirmed. The Future Foundation is on our side, at least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy, and they took us in to protect us. But if that's true, Chiaki should have made that clear to us. No, as long as Monokuma around, she probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma, if he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko Enoshima are making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in the email too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island mentioned in the email? What's that about? The only Future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. If there really is a research facility on this island, there should be other Future Foundation members here. Somehow there's still so many mysteries. Alright, on the 4th floor, what is the next most interesting room? Probably the like, fun room, whatever it was called. Or was that the 3rd floor? Oh yeah, that's the 3rd floor, isn't it? Anything new from you, Akane? No. Yeah, the rec room, that's what I meant. That's on the 3rd... No. I thought that was on the 4th floor. Hey, there's John Strawberries again. He wasn't in the first game, right? Also, that whiteboard, or that chalkboard, is very suspicious. Also, I really like these pixel art flowers. This feels different from a classroom.
Maybe...
It's probably the office, right? I mean, the room has that stuffy teacher vibe to it. The office, huh? Now that you mention it, it does look like that.
Well...
More importantly, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere. How much longer is this guy gonna be obsessed with Sonia? Give it up already, real. So, that seems important. What would that be? 5 times 3 is 15, but it says something underneath here. Oh, hang on, Saionji is right there. Oh, Chiaki. Okay, Chiaki's on there. Flowers on top of the desk? Plus, they look strange to me. Are my eyes just tired? Hey, Monokuma, what's up?
Huh? Are you serious?
Aw, come on. You're not gonna let me look at the picture of John Strawberries? Disappointing.
This is
Hey,
bad.
okay.
I mean...
Damn it, I'm real worried. What if something happens to me when Miss Sonia isn't looking? This guy is useless sometimes. Alright. What's going on here? There's something written on the blackboard. What's written here? So Saionji's in the newspaper. List of subjects. You know what? Let me just... On blackboard, underneath a framed portrait of John Strawberries, students' names are written under list of subjects. They are grouped as follows. Hajime Hinata, Hyaki Nanami, Kazuichi Soda. Kane Owari, Sonya, never mind. Eko Yama. Nagito Komaeda, Gundam Hanaka, Ultimate Imposter, Mahiru Koizumi, Mikan Sumiki, Ibuki Miyoda, Teru Hanamura, Nekomaru, Nidai, Fuyuhiko, Uzuryu. Saionji is alone. Saionji is in the newspaper. Okay. I've got that written down. Our names I've seen before. An extremely overwhelming portrait is hanging on the wall. I feel like I've seen it before, but the name not etched onto the placard says, Hope's Peak Academy founder, Izuru Kamukura. Founder of Hope's Peak Academy, and this name, Izuru Kamukura. Doesn't this clearly contradict the information I obtained earlier? Damn it, another mystery. The Academy's founder has been added to the Truth Bullets section of your school, or of your handbook. Now the newspaper, what's up with this? Saionji, why are you relevant again? There's a newspaper posted on the blackboard. Below that, Hyoko Saionji is written there. What is this newspaper? I can't... Okay, so her hair is different. And I feel like in this photo, her proportions are different. I feel like she's taller. Yeah, she looks older. I agree. What would this mean? Yeah, she has a little bit more of a figure as well. Saionji? Well, if we're in a simulation, then I suppose our physical appearances could be, like, manipulated? If all of this is just, like, digital avatars inside the, what was it called? What did we call it? The Neo World program? If we're inside the Neo World program right now, then I suppose that how Saionji appeared could be different than how we actually saw her. But I don't know what that would mean. What is this? It says Miss Hyoko Saionji. This can't mean the same Hyoko, right? I mean, the Hyoko we knew. She was much smaller and looked more childlike. It was pretty much her defining feature. But the photo in this newspaper... In a way, I can see the resemblance to Hyoko, but her height and figure... It's too different from the Hyoko we knew. What does this mean? Huh? This lady looks pretty mature. Is she Hyoko's older sister or something? No, it says Hyoko Saionji here. Oh, then Hyoko has an older sister with the same first and last name. An older sister with the same first and last name?
I mean...
That's the only explanation, right? I mean, look at it for yourself. That's not Hyoko. But did you ever hear her mention an older sister?
Man...
Well, it's not like I was that close to her or anything.
Wrong.
She doesn't have an older sister. Hyoko is the Saionji family's only daughter. If she doesn't have a sister, then a relative. Nah, there's still too much of a resemblance.
What are you saying?
That's Hyoko. Okay. Saionji's photo in the paper is much more mature than the one we knew. Everything else that I've seen so far has kind of like started to fall into place. This is the first clue that we've been shown that I just cannot understand what the relevance is. So let's think that... So I guess this could be a clue that things are not what they appear to be, and people do not look like the way that they look. And if that is the case, if we think that we can't take fish tank, yeah, fish tank indeed. I'm gonna follow this train of thought though, because if we take this as tacit confirmation that we cannot trust our eyes, and that people may not be what they really are based on what we have seen, I wonder if, because that means like, Nagito obviously did not have Junko hand for this entire game, but the characters who I drew thematic parallels to, like them not looking the same, is no longer important. Because I remember talking about Chiaki, like she ticks a lot of the same boxes as Kirigiri, but she couldn't be Kirigiri because of the hands, because she doesn't have like terribly scarred and deformed hands. Well, if that's not the case anymore, if we know that people don't look the way that they actually appear, then that could be indicative that the people that we think we know could in fact be other people. That also means that the ultimate imposter might not have died at the beginning, and the Byakuya corpse could have been something else in some way. I mean, it really throws into question a lot of what we know, as a matter of fact. But let's see where this is gonna go. What's Monokuma gonna say?
Of course not.
What are you saying? Hiyoko doesn't have a curvy body like this. I mean, she was famous for her childlike figure. She got away with all kinds of crap for looking like that.
Well...
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe she had a growth spurt. What are you saying? She's already dead. There's no way she could have had a growth spurt.
Today,
Well,
I'm
regardless,
feeling
all the clues I've provided are true. So, there is one other consideration, which is we've had at least a couple of years of our memories stolen, and if we're in the Neo World project, and this time is canonically after the events of the first Danganronpa game, then at least a number of years must have passed. So like, these people are probably not biologically high school students anymore. Like, they are probably into their adulthood. Maybe. Didn't a similar thing happen in DR1 where physical changes were modified to throw off the time gap? I don't recall that. I recall that kind of actually being a slight criticism that I had, because like, if any person like got a scar during their time that was taken away from them, then that would be a reveal. But I don't know. If they weren't, it wouldn't be fair.
What's going on?
What the heck? This is the truth? If this is the truth, then Hiyoko in this newspaper... Is he really saying this is the same person? That's impossible. I mean, how can there be a photo of a grown-up Hiyoko when she's already dead? Why does this even exist?
Hey,
Could it be related to that list of subjects over there? Huh?
this is bad.
If it says subjects, it means there was some kind of experiment, right? Did that experiment change Hyoko's body? What am I saying? Just saying it out loud makes it sound messed up. What experiment? If it's some kind of experiment, it would mean that we're also test subjects, right? I mean, our names are also written on the blackboard under that list of subjects. But what kind of experiment was it?
What's going on?
What's going on? It better not have anything to do with time travel. Is that everything for me to look at here? I mean, there's the monitor. All right. Then I think that's it for this room. Nope, there is still... Oh, hello. There are letters floating in the air, like the music room from earlier. Looks like a passage from an email someone wrote. I think it's the same one from earlier. I guess I should read it. Alright. Whoops. You know what, let me just save real quick. We understand this matter regarding survivors. In order to safely acquire them, please do your best and continue your investigation. However, you must exercise extreme caution concerning the remnants of despair. Even though they have lost Junko and Oshima, the fact remains that they are extremely dangerous. Even after her death, the tragedy is not ended. Perhaps there is still a leader on par with Junko and Oshima. As long as we do nothing about the remnants of despair, we will not be able to end this incident. For this reason, the remnants of despair must be immediately eliminated once they are discovered. Everything is for the sake of a shining future. Immediately eliminated? Does that mean this is in order to kill them? That doesn't sound peaceful at all. Well, I guess that's understandable. If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is as terrible as it sounds, it's pretty much all-out war. If the remnants of despair are the ones waging that war, there's no way they'd be forgiven that easily. Despair. Okay, with this, you've totally raised all the flags on this floor. Congratulations, Hajime! You shall now go on to the next stage. Next stage? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take this as an opportunity to pause, take a break, and run to the restroom and fill up my water, because we're running a little bit low. This is fascinating, and I am delightfully perplexed, especially with this. This is really throwing a whole lot off for me. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and I will see you guys on the other side. Swear to God, I don't know how it happens, but every time I sit down and take a break and stand up and walk away from my computer, I come back and I look and I have more viewers during the be right back screen than I do during the actual gameplay. I swear, it attracts people. So yeah, this whole situation is really interesting. And my initial reaction to it still seems to be relatively on point, that the Future Foundation was formed by the survivors and was made to, you know, protect a more hopeful future. That seems to track. What is the deal with the ultimate despair remnants? What is the deal with John Strawberries? What is the deal with Nagito? Do we take do we take the whole hand thing as a metaphor? Do I take it that that is Nagito having a remnant of despair? Or being a remnant of despair? Try doing just a Be Right Back screen for the whole stream next time. That'll be a good April Fool's Day joke. At some point, like next year, just start, have that screen for 2 hours, and then leave. Do me a favor and inspect the newspaper again. I want to see if Hajime is really just so stupid to not try to read it. Yeah, you would think that, like, this little blurb of text underneath the picture here might be relevant. Yeah, it does not look like we're gonna get any flavor text about this. Nope. Did that experiment have something to do with changing Hyoko's body? So what I find weird about this is my natural conclusion is like, you know, time has passed, her body has changed because she has grown. But what would be the point of the newspaper then? Like, why would she be in a newspaper just like casually rather than this being revealed through some other means? What up? I'm Hajime, I'm 19, and I never learned how to fucking read. Yep. Damn it, not again. This hallway is different from last time. I guess when that flag Monokuma mentions is raised, I move to a different hallway. But how can he do that? Alright, so now I'm on the 3rd floor. I want to go to the rec room. Oh, but the 3rd floor was confusing. Yeah, the 3rd floor was wacky. So this is a physics room. So the rec room was this... No, because the art room is... No, the rec room was on the 4th floor. Because this is the room... Wait. Okay, no, the rec room was here. Was the art room also on the 3rd floor? Yeah, the art room was through here, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I guess I'm wrong. I'm running around to see if there's any other students for me to talk to. Okay, doesn't look like it. Yeah, we haven't seen Sonia, but we've seen Kazuichi a number of times now. I like these doors, or these windows, just kind of like popping in and out of existence. That's fun. Alright, into the rec room. There's a billiard table, a dartboard, and a shelf lined with magazines. It's hard to think a room like this actually exists inside a school. Something seems out of the ordinary here. And I think it's that I don't remember whatever this machine is from the first game. We have our little chess pieces here. Got the locker. Check out these magazines. There's a lot of different magazines here. Fashion, motorcycles, martial arts, sports, computer, travel. There's even a magazine about cameras. Mahiru would have been happy to see this. Check out the dartboard. There's a dartboard, but this is still a school, right? Or did Monokuma just randomly make up this place? Oh, but I can't examine the billiard table? That's a shame. I'm gonna do the hologram first before I do the file. This hologram again. What's this one say? It looks like another email passage. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have finally succeeded in acquiring them and placing them in our care. Though they were all dispersed, we were successful in acquiring all 15 of them. Due to the fact that we were unable to ask them about specific details, it is unknown how they managed to survive the tragedy. It's been reported that some are wounded, so it seems that they survived under harsh conditions. So, I draw issue with this because this makes sense to me. I feel like it would be reasonable that this group could survive adversity. You have Coach Nekomaru, who could help like rally people together. You have Akane, who could fight people off. You have Kazuichi, who could help, you know, with technology, with like rebuilding things and making tools and stuff. You have Mikan, who could tend to anybody who is wounded or, you know, keep people healthy. Not everyone's going to be useful here, but like, I could see that being the case. But then, if I'm taking it that these 15 people actually lived in real life and survived through the tragedy, then what happens with Akane and Asahina being like the same person? Why is that a thing? Well, if people's appearances are not what they seem, then I guess that could be a mind game that's being played. I don't know. Over the course of our detailed investigation, we determined that they are the same age as the other. Okay, age coming up here. We have determined that they are the same age as the others. Why are they the same person? She doesn't eat donuts. It's just, there's too much of a thematic overlap with them, in addition to the very, very apparent physical resemblance. Like, just from putting these two characters side by side, they look remarkably similar, right? Akane looks like an older Asahina. She just does. And then beyond that, yes, their personalities are a little bit different, but both of them are still kind of ditzy. Like, Akane's got a good intuition, but she's not like clever. And I don't think I would ever have called Asahina a genius either. But like during chapter 4, there was like a real parallel with the person that Asahina cared about most being the victim, and that really impacting her. The same thing happened in episode 4 of this game, where the person that Akane really cared about the most was the victim, and that really impacted her in a very strong way. And like, specifically adding the ogre statue in there, and there's a point where like Akane is in that room and like commenting on the ogre statue, I just feel like that is way too overt and way too deliberate for it to just be like, oh, they're just different characters, whatever. There's got to be some tie-in, somehow, some way. So you mean when they clone Celeste, they make her emphatic, and that's Sonia? I mean, yeah, right? Like, I don't think Celeste, though. They have similar vibes, but I don't think Celeste for Sonia. If I had to pair people up, I'd put Soda as Yasuhiro. Trying to think who else survived. Akane as Asahina. Uyuhiko as, like, Byakuya. I mean, the one-to-one doesn't really work because it kind of breaks down once Hajime and Naegi get involved. But like, I don't know, there's a lot of connections. So we have decided to entrust them to the survivors of the killing school life. Okay. So, that is confirmation of something I already expected. As for the remnants of despair, there are still no solid leads regarding this matter, and we have no new information to report. We will continue with the investigation. Once they are discovered, we shall eliminate them immediately. I came in really too late. What's the TLDR of this chapter? TLDR, we're probably in a simulated virtual world right now, and the 15 students in this game appear to be survivors of the tragedy from the first game, who have been taken into the care of the Future Foundation, which was made by and overseen by the survivors of the killing school life in the first game. Monokuma is going through the process of getting our graduation exam, where we will choose whether to stay on Jabberwock Island or leave. And I'm assuming by that it means stay in the virtual world or go back to the real world. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. Remnants of Despair has been updated in your handbook. The Academy's survivors have been updated in your handbook. It says here they succeeded in acquiring and have placed them in our care. That means we should have been protected by the Future Foundation, right? Then why is this happening? If the Future Foundation was protecting us, why were we forced to kill each other on this island? Well, I guess it's not possible that the Future Foundation set this all up.
What's this?
I want to check a couple truth bullets, where we're at on them. Okay. My, Hajime. If you keep worrying like that, you're gonna get a toothache and collapse. It's your fault. What is this hologram thing anyway?
Hey!
It's exactly what it looks like. They're the Future Foundation's emails. I thought they made the perfect clue, so I did a little bit of hacking here and there to get them. You can even do that? Whoever's controlling you seems to possess many talents. Is that a clue?
No, no!
Well, who cares about me anyway? That's not important at all. There's no way that's not important. His true identity should connect everything to what's happening right now. Okay. Hajime implies that John Strawberries might be controlling Monokuma. John Strawberries Jr., I should add. It's a file with Hope's Peak Academy's seal on it. It says confidential. That means this is a big secret, right? Why would an important document be here? Why am I even asking a question like that? Obviously, Monokuma's responsible. Anyway, I need to confirm what's inside the file. About the Hope Cultivation Plan. God, man, I am transcribing a lot of text here. About the Hope Cultivation Plan. For many years, Hope's Peak Academy has conducted rigorous research into various talents. The Hope Cultivation Plan seeks to use the fruits of our labors to further our true goal. With our hands, we will birth a true hope. It will bring hope to the entire world. Okay, so this is not new to us. Truly, the program is the next innovation in providing the ultimate education. Aha! It all comes back to the education system. This one doesn't feel like I should actually be transcribing the whole thing. Welcome back to Danganronpa 1. I'm so happy. You should have seen the way I popped off when we got to start walking around the first floor of the school again. This plan has been the Academy's wish since its foundation. So we must succeed at all costs. What followed was a series of detailed instructions and intricate orders. It was full of difficult technical terms, and I had no idea what any of them meant. However, the word true hope left a strong impression on my mind for some reason. The Hope Cultivation Plan was created for the sake of birthing true hope. Hope's Peak Academy was behind something like that. I don't really get it, but there's something about these words. True hope, huh? Nagito? Nagito is John Strawberries? Question mark? Is that where this is going? So Monokuma calling them World Ender was BS? Not necessarily. Looks like I'm in a different hallway again. I'm pretty much used to it by now, but even so. What is this space? Am I dreaming or something? I mean, this is just totally disconnected from reality. This is cool. I like this a lot. Okay. Oh. Akane, you got a little something there you might want to take care of. It's close. It's very close. Someone is coming. Akane's twitching her nose and examining her surroundings.
Based on my gut feeling.
They're definitely real close. At least that's what my gut is telling me. Then answer this with your gut. Is it an enemy or an ally? Let's see, my gut feeling is...
Well,
they're both.
Yo,
He's right, they're both. Both? What do you mean?
you.
I don't know any details, it's just my gut after all. Well, that's true, I guess. Akane has grown on me. Honestly, as much time as I've had with this game, I really think that the cast of Danganronpa 2 is much stronger than the cast of Danganronpa 1. This room right here is the room that I am most curious to see if I'm gonna get to go into. The men's bathroom on the second floor. Oh, I can't go into the pool. What door did I miss? I like this track a lot. 8-bit kill command. Oh, is this it? Oh, the library. Okay. Then, yeah, this is just one of the classrooms. Yeah, everyone except Teru and Nagito. Okay, so Teru sucks, and I am not about to defend him in any way, shape, or form. Nagito, however, was a very compelling character. He is the kind of character who is deliberately written for you not to like them, but that is used as a story element in a way that is very successful. I don't think that you could have had such an interesting Chapter 5 if you did not have a character who evoked emotions in the same way that Nagito did. This must be a library. Monokuma probably left something here too. I should hurry up and find it. Okay, I can't go that way. Can't check out the computer. Nothing here. So it looks like the only thing in here might be the hologram. No Monokumas either. All right, time for more writing. This hologram again. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move some of these things around my screen. Must be another one of the Future Foundation's emails. I should read it. There's no doubt it's another clue. Ha 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 ha. Here comes the name drop. I've been waiting for this name drop since the beginning of the game. To the Future Foundation 14th Division, Makoto Naegi. Where are you guys? What are you doing right now? I can't wait for this email to answer nothing. What you're doing is a serious act of treason. Oh. Okay. This lines up with the Nagito is Naegi theory. Why are you protecting the remnants of despair? It should be abundantly clear to you. How dangerous it is. Keep these people alive. Stay calm and think about this carefully. You guys are being lied to. Think carefully about what's important. Bring the light of hope to the world. The 6 of you joined the Future Foundation because you agreed with our ideals, right? The Future Foundation rescued you from the tragedy you survived and cooperated with recovering your memories. Immediately return the remnants of despair to our headquarters. Unless we eliminate them, the tragedy will never end. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. Wait, does this mean this email suggests that someone was trying to let the remnants of despair escape? So, what I find interesting here is this definitely seems in line with Naegi going rogue and becoming Nagito and whatever. But it seems to imply that the other students from the first game are also in on it. Where are you guys? Stay calm and think about this. You guys are being lied to. The 6 of you joined the Future Foundation, right? So it sounds like this is a joint decision from all 6 of the survivors, which is interesting. Now, I'm kind of wondering if we've got maybe some like split personality thing going on with Nagito and Naegi from this chapter 0 thing that we have going on here. Like, I have luck as a talent as well. This could be Naegi point of view. So this whole chapter 0 could have been a metaphor. Or, I don't know what this or is going for, Luigi. Okay. This email is addressed to Makoto Naegi, but he's with the Future Foundation, right? Then why was he trying to protect the remnants of despair? Did he betray the Future Foundation? So are the remnants, the remnants of despair have to be people, right? Or could they be programs? I really like this upside down second floor. It's very exciting. I insist that Mikan was a remnant of despair. It tracks. Yeah, I'm kind of turning around on that opinion. I didn't agree with it at first, but now it's starting to sound convincing.
It smells.
The thing is, I don't know. You know what? Actually, I take it back. I still don't think that can be the case because the 15 students were rescued from the school. And so if Mikan is assumed to be within that, then... About that thing of the DR2 cast being parallels to DR1, if I had to match DR2 to DR1 characters, note that I probably missed too much of your streams of either game to properly make connections. Something like Hajime to Naegi, Nagito to Kyoko, Chiaki to Chihiro, Sakura to Nekomaru, Akane to Asahina, Soda to Yasuhiro, Mikan to Toko, Byakuya to Byakuya, Peko Peko to Taka, Teruteru to Hifumi, Sonya to Sayaka, and Fuyuhiko to Leon. Feel like somewhat decent parallels. Did you have Mondo and... what's his name? Mondo and Nekomaru. I mean... yeah, that was it. That was the parallel that I had. Yeah, if I were to say anything... I mean, like, literally, Hajime Hinata, I said Nagito 2.0. Nagito, I actually said Kirigiri 2.0 as well. So that is a parallel that could be drawn at the beginning. Mikan to Toko makes sense to me. I think I said that in Chapter 3. Ibuki to Sayaka would make sense. I would put Saionji to Celeste, I think. Yeah, I don't necessarily think there's exact one-to-ones for everybody, but there's definitely a lot of parallels that are certainly not incidental, at least. Hey, this isn't where that room was. Huh? Didn't I walk into a classroom? I don't really get it, but this looks like the laundry room. There's no use worrying about it, but I was in a school and now I'm suddenly in a laundry room. Boo! Boo! You ruined Danganronpa 1! How dare!
No.
What is it? In Danganronpa 1, every time you came into this room, you could inspect this swimsuit, and you could, you had this, like, ongoing train of thought of, like, whose swimsuit is this? Oh, it's behind the notes? Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this swimsuit right here... Huh, can't check out the Junko thing either. Looks like the only thing in here that I can inspect that's not the monitor is this tablet PC. This looks like a tablet computer. It looks like the power is on, too. Is this the next clue? I picked up the tablet and immediately started examining it. Neo World Program. This word, Neo World. I seem to recall hearing it and seeing it a few times already. Neo World Program has another name. Okay. Psychotherapeutic Communication Simulator. Okay, well, there's our simulator. Psychotherapeutic Communication Simulator. So connecting the psyches of individuals to one another artificially? Is that where we're going with this? The Neo World program is built with the most recent psychotherapy technology and administrative software. To develop the Neo World program, individuals such as the Ultimate Programmer, the Ultimate Neurologist, and the Ultimate Therapist were among the many talented people whose research results were finalized. By mounting a device to the cranium, the Neo World program allows its subjects to experience a synthetic virtual world, yeah? Additionally, the Neo World program has another feature. It can replace memories formed in the real world with information contained in the synthetic virtual world. Well, now we finally have an answer for how this happened in Danganronpa 1, I suppose. Therefore, it's possible to undo trauma sustained in the real world through the use of the virtual world. However, this device is for psychotherapeutic uses only. Any other purpose is expressly forbidden. Though it is highly effective in treating brainwashing, abusing the device risks total personality destruction. Okay, I talked about this in Danganronpa 1. And I talked about this earlier in Danganronpa 2 as well. I can't recall in what circumstance I was speculating this, but I thought that something had happened to Nagito that changed him from Naegi to Nagito, and in the process of like him losing his memories and the fact that he had already lost his memories once before, that might have contributed to him cracking. And this appears to be what that is. Thus, extreme care must be exercised when operating this program. Slowly, everything around me turned black. Synthetic virtual world. Program? A feeling of emptiness, like everything is being tainted. A feeling of weakness, like the world is collapsing beneath my feet. Everything is starting to feel meaningless. The desperate attempts, the sad goodbyes, the conflicts, the trust I felt up until now. It's all disappearing until all I feel is despair. Ah! Hajime screams. I screamed loudly as if I was confirming the sound of my own voice. There's no way I can accept this. I'm starting to accept that. There's no way something as crazy as this actually exists.
Nice!
You gotta raise the flags more in order to clear my character route. Now then, despair is waiting for you. Impossible. This is impossible. It's all made up. Everything is all made up. Made up. Including me too? Fun transition.
Hiya!
Hey, how are you doing? Did you enjoy the killing school trip? Oh boy, this hurts me to read. Take me straight back to 2009, why don't you? By the way, do you guys remember the speech I made at the beginning? From this point on, I promise you a world that truly deserves to be called a game. So this circles back to something that was said at the beginning of chapter 5. Where is it? Monokuma saying no matter how much you insist it's a game, people won't be convinced if a place like this doesn't exist. And he said that in the Sea King Industries thing. I still don't know what that means. Whew. You guys are the only ones watching this who can save them. The end of this world is nigh. What you gonna do? What's gonna happen? Isn't it exciting? Isn't it heart-throbbing? Look forward to it. And we're back on the first floor. Ooh. This hallway. When we first arrived here, I walked down this hallway from the classroom to get to the gym. I don't really see a resemblance, but... Oh, this is cool. Man, this really reminds me of, like, some classic dungeon crawlers. This is cool. This is really cool. Well, there's Sonia, who's been MIA this whole time. Oh, this is so cool. The presentation of this is dope. Yeah, this very, very strongly reminds me of games that I was playing, like, when I was a kid.
Well?
Are you familiar with the placebo effect and the nocebo effect? Huh? The placebo effect is when your health improves after taking fake medicine that you believe is real. And the nocebo effect is the exact opposite, which means as long as the human brain controls all other bodily functions, if the brain believes something is real, it will become real. Why would you bring that up all of a sudden?
Huh?
Huh?
Oh my.
Huh? I'm not sure. I do not fully understand. This is a weird thing to be your first thing that you say to me after being missing this whole time. How did she phrase that? As long as the brain is in control, whatever it believes becomes real. Well, I believe in the Fuyukane ship, so I'm just saying. Why did I feel the need to talk about that? Ain't that the question? Well, we're still not going in the red doors. Interesting. The moment you discover that the truth was a lie, all hope will disappear. Alright, well, back into where it all began. Classroom 1B. Big object. This would be a really, really devious place to hide a Monokuma because of the black and white. He would blend in super duper well. Throw a bone at it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. Is this floating? Hajime, you just saw the billiards, the locker, the dartboard, and a bunch of other stuff floating in a room like 2 floors ago. That's impossible. There's no way something this big would be floating like this. But what in the world is it? And the moment I looked at that object... Oh, I thought someone was going to be inside it. That is binary. Error, no identifier. Being success. Yes, 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 yes! I was right, I was right, I was right! It is alter ego! Welcome. Welcome to the Neo World program. Yes! A person? A floating person is talking to me. Who is it? No, is this even a person in the first place? Okay, I'm taking the notes away for now. I'm totally gonna need them in like 2 seconds, but I'm taking them away. Aw, I'm so happy. So this is the first interaction that we have with a character from the first game, finally. I'm not quite a person. I'm simply an artificial intelligence program. It would make me happy if you called me Alter Ego. That is the name my master gave me when he created me. Fujisaki Chihiro, age not known, height not known, weight not known, not female, error, no identifier. Everything else is in binary. But what are you? Alter Ego, Artificial Intelligence Program. I am the master program behind the Neo World program. I'm responsible for creating and overseeing this world. However, only the observer has the authority to directly influence you guys, alright. So, what that would indicate to me is that Monami was the observer until the stick got taken away from her, and at that point someone else became the observer. And that someone else is probably whoever we saw in Chapter 0, who happened to have a contribution that person left them. I can't actually exert much influence. In fact, my existence is one that you don't normally meet. I'm sort of like an apartment manager or something. I'm being called out right now. I'm an apartment manager. I may oversee the entire apartment building, but I lack the power to manage individual rooms. Okay, you know what? This is valid. But the virus has infected everything I'm supposed to be managing. The virus. Damn COVID. The cringe virus. And because of that, this world that I'm managing is acting very peculiar. Hold on. My brain can't follow what you're saying. Let me gather my thoughts first. Damn it, it's that feeling from earlier again. This floating, like my feet are hovering above the floor. It's like I can't feel my feet or the ground. Like I can't even believe my own existence. Hey, you should know, right? Where is this place? Tell me, what is the Neo World program? Neo World program has omitted the data collection procedure for shaping the entire world. As such, only the data we collected during the experimental stage is being utilized. Okay. I need to write that down so that I can read it later and interpret what it actually means. The Neo World program has omitted the data collection procedure for shaping the entire world. As such, only the data we collected during the experimental stage is being utilized. Okay, so I interpret this to mean that the Neo World program, as it currently is implemented, is incapable of simulating anything outside Jabberwock Island and sort of the school, Hope's Peak Academy. Those are the only things that it can render at the moment. Specifically, that means the data detailing Jabberwock Island, where this facility is located. That is why the previous Jabberwock Island cityscape was restored. Ergo, if I'm to answer your question, where is this place? The answer would be mostly Jabberwock Island. Certain portions of it are different depending on the circumstances. For example, this school you're in. It appears this space is entirely under the virus's influence. That's probably why I'm appearing before you too. However, even without the virus, these circumstances are a bit unnatural. It seems the launch was rushed, and because of that, there wasn't enough time to collect any data. I'm sorry, I don't really know what the circumstances are out the outside world. After all, I'm simply the overseer of the Neo World program. Most of its words, I understood what they meant, but I couldn't understand what was being said. There was no way for me to acknowledge it as the truth. It would make so much more sense if this was a fictional world. Wait, are you saying this world is a fictional world? I feel like I can't believe what's going on here. this missing sense of reality. All the mysteries, all the truths, they're all just fiction. Is that? Even so, I need to know. I need to know what this world is. Hey, can you tell me? Can you tell me, what was the Neo World program used for in the first place? The Neo World program serves only one purpose. It is used to make the real world a splendid one. I guess you can say it's a program for creating hope. A program for creating hope. But the fact that we're here and the fact that we don't have our memories, that's all the program's fault, right? Deleting memory is the first step toward replacing memory. Replacing memory data is one of the features of the Neo World program. With the installed memory control unit, it is possible to remove any time period you set it to. And from there, you upload the memories obtained in the virtual world. Removing memories of any time period you set it to. So Monokuma was right. We did lose our school memories. But why? Why us? Why were our school memories taken away? There's a reason for that, right? That is a mystery to me too. Booting the program of the survivors of Hope's Peak Academy while it's still in its experimental stage. I'm sure there was a very good reason. But unfortunately, I don't know what's happening in the outside world. I'm sorry. Are you saying we're lab rats? That's the only thing I can think of. It sounds like we're just lab rats. The Future Foundation did that to us? But they're trying to save the world, right? Or is the Future Foundation not our ally? I'm sorry. I can't provide that much help. If only I was more reliable, I wouldn't have lost my authority to a virus like this. All these new words make my head feel like it's about to burst. Can you tell me more about the Observer and that virus? Well, for this session, the Neo World program was programmed to house 15 people along with 2 monitors. Okay. "15 people and 2 monitors. I have to assume Naegi is one of the monitors. I don't feel like one of the remnants of despair started as a monitor. Those wouldn't be Usami and Chiaki? Well, no, because the monitors have power, right? Oh no, observers. Sorry, observer and monitor are different. Okay. So monitors, yeah, would probably be Usami and Chiaki. 2 monitors? Yeah, they were disguised as a teacher and one of the students. Okay, if I had only clicked one more time. They were intended to guide the participants in this way. By the way, the observer in the teacher role has been given the authority to influence you all. But the observer in the student role was not. This lines up with what we know. They weren't... It gets loud sometimes. They weren't given any special authority at all, so they'd seem the same as everyone else. What kind of authority does the teacher role even have? As an example, the teacher creates the rules of this world and manages them. If the teacher is properly managing the rules they've created, there is no risk of abuse. Because of the virus infecting everything, that has changed. It changed this world where violence shouldn't have existed in the first place. The Neo World program would have promised eternal peace. But just like the outside world, it's become a world filled with violence and death. What is this virus? I don't really know the details behind its true identity, but that function is beyond my capabilities. So, I'm guessing we've got like a digitized Junko or something, or a digitized Ultimate Despair that has taken over? No matter how much I try to stop it, it behaves as if it already knows what I am attempting to do. In the end, it stole a portion of my abilities which contain my authority to build the world. It was like a grandmaster chess player. I desperately tried to fight back so it wouldn't have complete control. But even so, a portion of the world has been modified at its convenience. She's probably talking about Monokuma Rock and the Funhouse. Based on what she's saying, it sounds like she's on the receiving end of a one-sided attack. But Alter Ego should be an impressive artificial intelligence that the Future Foundation created. I can tell that just by communicating with her. Excuse you, Hajime, learn to read. Alter Ego is not female. Which means this supposed virus is so smart that it surpasses this alter ego. If so, does that virus possess an artificial intelligence just like her? Damn it, what the heck? An artificial intelligence waging an attack on another? It's so freaking irritating. But how did that virus infect the Neo World program? Neo World program exists in isolation. It's impossible it was infected through a network. I'm fairly certain someone physically uploaded it. Okay, so I'm really thinking that that's what this is. The contribution that that person left to me. The narrator of Chapter 0 was using that person just as they had been used in the past. The ultimate illiterate. We finally learned his talent. So really, we're narrowing in on what the real question of this game is, and it is who is the mastermind that uploaded this virus and took control of the NWP. It is somebody who is beloved by talent. Someone for whom detecting regularities among irregularities would not be difficult. Someone whose teachers taught them that a certain degree of selection must be performed. And someone who was used by that person. That person appears to be the ultimate despair. And if we say it's the ultimate despair, the one and only, then that's Junko Enoshima. So can I think of any person who was used by Junko Enoshima? The answer to me is yes, and it's Mukuro. But Mukuro should be very dead. And the only other people who I can think could be justifiably used would be Naegi, Kirigiri, Yasuhiro, Asahina, Toko, and Byakuya. But we still have the open questions of the ultimate imposter, of John Strawberries and John Strawberries Jr. No, there were no off-screen deaths in Danganronpa. I mean, there were the executions, right? And we assume that all of the executions were fatal. Possible that that is not the case. After all, Naegi functionally survived one. But, like, Junko's dead. I do not think Junko is alive. Imagine if it's Yasuhiro. Nagito asks, will I be able to see her again? Will I be able to see the person I hate with every fiber of my being? And this time, will I be able to kill her this time? I mean, the Naegi to Nagito thing could still be a bait. It could still be a misdirect. We still don't have hard, tacit, explicit confirmation. This is hard. Physically. Perhaps someone secretly brought an external memory drive containing virus into the facility, and directly uploaded it into the main computer where the Neo World program is installed. Based on my calculations, that's most likely what happened. It was brought to the Future Foundation's facility, but the only person who could enter that facility is someone who is a member of the Future Foundation. Damn it, what am I thinking? Why am I assuming that what I just heard is the truth? Why am I assuming that everything is a lie? Observers have been added to the truth bullets. The Neo World program has been updated. But it's true that the virus is powerful and that I'm completely overwhelmed by it. But I'm still able to defend the essential areas, so it has a limit too. A limit? If it took over an observer, then it has to follow the rules of an observer. Such as, okay, important.
Hey!
Oh, son of a gun.
Ow.
Okay, even if you're just a god in the machine, that's enough hints from you. So Monokuma really does not want this specific information getting out. It was in order to end the simulation. If you're gonna say something more, suppose that you exist between life and death. The death of yourself is inevitable. If so, it can be a parallel to the defluxion based on the definition of existence that constitutes the relationship. From there, the paradigm change results by being cut off rapidly and causes a situation where your own existence is unobservable and accelerates and crosses with the joint ownership of the world, and the situation from the context invites your death, 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 death. Death, 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 die the death, sentence to death, great equalizer is the death. Hey. Death, 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 death. Death, 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 death. Well, that was fun. Oh, hello. Hello, Naegi. Hello, Naegi Makoto. How are you doing on this fine day? It's a pleasure to see you. I have been waiting to speak with you. I have been waiting very patiently, as a matter of fact. What the heck? What just happened? Stream froze and I came back to chanting death, 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 death. Look, it's just a casual, average Sunday for me, Boris. What just happened? Also, if you thought you had no context for what was going on before, I promise you, you have absolutely no context for what is going on now. Death. That is an incredible emote, Vacuum. You're right there, aren't you? Someone is right there, right? Okay. Suddenly, we are in front of a Naegi terminal. Huh? Who are you? Are you different from the earlier one? Maybe he can't hear my voice from this side. I'm currently talking to the world through Alter Ego. Ever since you guys vanished into that space, the video's feedback has been pretty distorted. But even so, we were forced to watch you this entire time. Okay. Huh? The things you guys were forced to do, we were forced to watch it. Forced to watch us? I really want to save you right away, but because of the virus's interference, I couldn't. I don't like this. I don't like that my entire theory about this whole game is crumbling before my eyes. Our orders are no longer being intercepted, including shutdown requests. The Neo World program is beyond our control now. In that world, that person created an independent country that doesn't accept outside interference. Novoselic. But Alter Ego created an opportunity for me to speak to you directly. If this means that's working, then it means that the person I need to talk to is right there. I hope. Looks like this guy can't even hear or see me. Just who is this guy anyway? Is he our ally? Since there's no time, I'm going to say what I need to say and believe you're there listening to me. But first, I should apologize to everyone. I know apologizing won't help, but we didn't imagine something like this would happen. We never expected such an atrocious virus was lurking inside the Neo World program. But that's entirely our fault. It was our responsibility for not realizing it until it's too late. But it's not just the virus either. I can't say for sure. I don't know why some of these beeps are so loud. I can't say for sure that the program didn't have any problems in the first place. To tell you the truth, I was unsure about whether or not to run the program on you guys. But this was the only way to save you all. I wanted to save you guys. Save us? What did he want to save us from? Why would this save us? You've already seen the password to enter the graduation exam ground, right? You know 11037. That's the number that we found at Nezumi Castle. The door to the ancient ruin was supposed to open after you finished gathering the Hope fragments. From there, you guys were supposed to challenge the graduation exam. Here's door. Read my previous message for a big theory. I think the sudden loud sounds is when you skip to the end of the sentence, all of the beeps and letters appearing on screen are played at once. Yeah, it's not supposed to do that, but that would make sense. However, I prepared that password just in case something went wrong. Like I said earlier, I had my doubts that this program was perfect. Even if the chance was slim, I thought that the observer might end up going rogue. That's the reason I left that 11037 password in a place where the teacher role would not be able to go. I never thought Nagito, who saw it first, would erase that password. Anyway, I'm also the person who set the password to that number. That number contains a secret. Someone close to me left that number to save me when I was in a dilemma. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm entrusting that will to you all. I've entrusted it to your future. But that person is trying to abuse the graduation exam. I'm sure they are going to crush you with despair for using the graduation exam that's waiting for you. But I want you guys to endure it without giving up on hope. I want you to withstand it until I get there. Because I have a secret to defeat them. Does that mean he has a secret plan to defeat Monokuma? In a worst-case scenario where an observer who has the role of teacher goes rogue, I've prepared a hidden command to use at the graduation exam site. It's the forced shutdown sequence. forced shutdown sequence. Even a teacher's authority can't stop that command. It's a way to end this that you guys can choose on your own, independently of the observer. Which means even if they stole the teacher's authority, they shouldn't be able to stop it. If you use that, you guys will win. However, in order to start the forced shutdown sequence, you need more than half the number of people. And in order to do that, I need to somehow get that number. Ah. I'm assuming that is more than half of the people who are here in totality, meaning if we started with 15 real people, at least 7 people have to activate the shutdown sequence, and since there are only 5 people alive, that can no longer be done. So we have to find a way to return the dead to life. Asflagau ya te atermin fedicious chemo yashi baba death. And we say farewell to Naegi and so who's Nagito? Who's Nagito? I'm so confused.
Say what?
What was that just now? Hey, Hajime, what was that weirdness just now? Nothing really. I see.
Anyway.
Oh well. Anyway, that's all the hints you're gonna get. If that no good artificial intelligence tells you any more useless stuff, I'm gonna butt in again. Did Monokuma not notice what just happened? It's been a while since I've spoken at length, but it was important to talk to you. It was worth waiting a long time in here. Hey, about that guy just now, there shouldn't be anything else for you to ask me. I see, it'd be bad if Monokuma overheard us. That means Monokuma doesn't know about the conversation I had with that guy just now. You guys have a weapon. A very powerful weapon. It all depends on how you guys use that weapon. The only thing I can do is prevent the virus's invasion with all my might so you guys can use that weapon. The rest is up to you all. Do your best. Do our best, huh? But what do we have to do our best at? The mystery is getting solved. I'm finally starting to see the truth. But what are we supposed to do when that truth is really a lie? We know we're working towards a conclusion that nobody wants to hear. But still, do we really need to work hard and do our best? Is there really a reason to do our best? If everything was a lie, then isn't everything just meaningless? It's the same for the killings too, even though we had to experience something as painful as that, something as tragic as that. Wouldn't all that be meaningless too? When the world is flipped over and becomes so irrational, what am I supposed to do? 11037 has been added to the truth bullets. The shutdown sequence has been added to the truth bullets. So that explains why he was so specific about like, okay, now that it's just the 5 of you, I don't care anymore. Which is interesting because the way the math works out, if there's 15 students, assuming we don't count Chiaki, then even at the beginning of chapter 5, that should have been the end of the road. Because there's 15 students and there were 7 students at the beginning of chapter 5. So you would need at least 8 students to agree, right? Which means that there's 1 student who's still alive. Does Monami have a vote? I wouldn't think so. Because she's not a subject. She's an overseer. She's a program. Regarding your assumption that Nagito and Naegi's luck worked the same, it was wrong, but to do that, one would need to do the Nagito events? Ah. Well, that wasn't gonna happen no matter what. There shouldn't be anything else for you to ask me. You guys have a weapon, okay, blah blah blah. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Am I gonna get to do the thing again? I hope I am. I'm still on the first floor. It's a-comin'.
I'm getting tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in?
It's time for the long-awaited graduation exam. Please enter the red door located on the first floor of Hope's Peak Academy.
Yes!
See you soon.
Yes! A red door, huh? It's just a waste of time thinking about what all this means right now. For now, I need to finish this. I just need to focus on that. Alright guys, we get to return to a long-standing tradition. Going over our theories before I enter the red door. I'm gonna take a restroom break before I do that, because I have a lot of things to work through. My actual conclusions are not well formed right now, so I need to really sit and look at the truth bullets that we've received and see if I can make some magic happen. If they're still alive... Oh, see the message before the previous one. We've concluded we're in a simulation, but do we know for sure that this simulation is one of those you die in the game, you die IRL ones? Because if not, then wouldn't everyone still be alive? I think that is the case. I think everyone is alive still, and I think that is the weapon that we've got. So I'm going to be right back, and we'll start talking about our ideas, and then we'll go into the final class trial. So I will see you guys in just a minute. So, let's go ahead and start talking theories. I can't review my truth bullets! No! Okay, well... I guess I'm just gonna go through the door and then review my truth bullets, I hope? Well, you know, I'm gonna talk through some ideas and then we'll go through the door and then I'll review the truth bullets. So... overall, big picture here. I'm thinking that I have no idea what's going on. So I'll fall back on my usual MO. Let's start with the timeline. The timeline is, at the end of Danganronpa 1, Junko and Oshima dies. The rest of the class that survives makes it back out into the real world and joins the Future Foundation. They join the Future Foundation in order to help make the world a better place, and eventually these 15 students are found. Where is that information here? There are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about that number. If they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by ultimate despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible, though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Oshima rallying them. In a worst-case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. Also, if they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins, and we haven't located them either. So, they know that these 15 students are still alive, but they weren't, like, in Hope's Peak Academy. So these 15 students were somewhere. I don't know where, but eventually the school captures them, or the Future Foundation captures them, and puts them in the program to try to fix their brains. There is still a leader on par with Junko and Oshima. So there's still someone who was an ultimate despair, who I don't think is going to be Mukuro or Junko. It's got to be one of these 15 students that we know of. As long as we do nothing about the Remnants of Despair, we will not be able to end this incident. For this reason, the Remnants of Despair must be immediately eliminated. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have finally succeeded, yada yada yada. We've decided to entrust them to the survivors of the Killing School life. As for the Remnants of Despair, there are still no solid leads regarding this matter, and we have no new information to report. We will continue with the investigation. Once they are discovered, we shall eliminate them immediately. Could it be Mikan? I don't think so. I feel like if it was Mikan, she wouldn't have behaved the way that she did. Like, if Mikan was the mastermind here, I don't think that she would have, like, gotten the remembering disease and then been, like, gone into a depression about it, basically. Like, gone in and been like, oh, I did this to atone and to see my beloved again. I don't think so. If it's anyone, I would expect it to be someone who was a victim of one of the murders. One of the first 4 murders victims, which would bring us to the ultimate imposter, Mahiru, Saionji, Ibuki, or Nekomaru? Nah, not Nekomaru. Okay, so one of the first 3 victims, or the first 3 chapter victims, which would bring us Ibuki, Saionji, Mahiru, or the ultimate imposter. She never spoke about any atonement. It wasn't like atonement, but what did she say exactly? She said penance. She committed the murder as penance. Either way, I don't think that she's the mastermind here. So of those 4 characters, let's just assume that I'm right and one of these victims is actually alive. I mean, all of them I think are alive. I think everyone is actually still alive. Could one of these victims fit the Chapter 0 profile? Someone like me who's beloved by talent, has luck as a talent, using that person just as they used me in despair. I mean, really, it just could be any of the remnants of despair. Contribution that person left to me, which I think is, we're talking about the virus here. Okay, so anyway, my timeline. We get in there, and then the students go rogue. Makoto says, what you're doing is a serious act of treason. Do you understand? Why are you protecting the remnants of despair? It should be abundantly clear to you how dangerous it is to keep these people alive. So I think that this does indicate that one of these students, or maybe multiple of these students, are remnants of despair. It could be that Mikan is a remnant of despair, but is not the mastermind, and the mastermind is a different remnant of despair, and Naegi has hope, and that hope extends to, like, rehabilitating the remnants of despair, perhaps? And that's why he did this. The 6 of you joined the Future Foundation because you agreed with our ideals, immediately return, blah blah blah. I think that makes sense. So maybe there's multiple in our cast of characters who are remnants of despair. So who might that be? We say Mikan is one of them. I don't really have a whole lot of information to go on to identify who specifically, though. Man, who is Nagito? What's up with Nagito? Also, what's up with the Saionji aging thing? I mean, I think that's to indicate that time has passed. So does the passage of time and the idea of anybody growing up or growing older, does that have an impact on anybody that we know? Obviously, Chiaki, the answer is no. Is there anyone whose identity is particularly youthful? Fuyuhiko is kind of baby-faced. Mikan, not really. Ibuki, not really. Because of the pre-existing relationship between Peko and Fuyuhiko, though, I just don't feel like we would add an extra deeper layer onto that. I feel like Fuyuhiko's in the clear. Mikan before the disease was normal, so maybe they don't remember being remnants of despair. Oh, that is true. That is true. And that would make sense, right? If Naegi was trying to rehabilitate them in the Neo World program, then it would make sense that they don't know that they are remnants of despair. Which, again, makes actually identifying them difficult. But also, if they are a mastermind, then that probably doesn't quite track. Like, you can't incidentally be a mastermind. You can't be... Like, someone uploaded this virus. So someone in the real world uploaded the virus after everyone was already in the program. That would mean then that they didn't... that no one in here could be the mastermind. And further, that would have to then implicate one of the original 6. This track is really good. Man, the soundtrack in this game rocks. I really, really like the soundtrack of Danganronpa 2. This, I think, is going to be relevant in bringing back the dead people. I think that inside this world, we are cognizant of these characters' deaths, and therefore they are dead to us. But if we break into the truth that these people are not dead and that this is just a simulation, then we can connect with them again. Because the Neo World program is a psychotherapeutic communication simulator. And so I think the removal of them from our worlds is a cognitive trait. So that person is trying to abuse the graduation exam. The graduation exam is how we choose whether to go back to the real world or live here. And so that person probably wants us to ultimately decide never to leave the simulation, because doing so would be too, despairing. So that person has an interest in keeping us in a simulation. God, Nagito, what is with the hand? What is with Chapter 0 in its totality? What's with John Strawberries? So I imagine we are in real world, still on Jabberwock Island. So does that mean that the ship going to Jabberwock Island could have been real with Nagito and this person? Yes. So if I believe that scene actually happened, then Nagito might have been one of the remnants of despair, and this other person who was with them might have been as well. So there might have been three. It might have been Nagito, Mikan, and Person X. Okay, here's an idea, here's a thought. No. Nagito and Mikan were not in the same grouping. Or all of them? I don't think it could be everyone. I don't think all of these students could be the ultimate despair. Or the remnants of despair. Well, I guess it could be. Trying to rehabilitate all 15 of us? That still just begs the question, though, who uploaded the virus? No matter what way I circle around, it always comes back to that. And what's up with adult Saionji? Okay. I think I'm just circling here. I don't think I'm coming up with anything productive. So I think we're just gonna move forward and see if anything else springs to mind, because I can't review my truth bullets. He means this red door, right? Do I just have to go in here? If I do that, will this be finished? You know what? You know what I'm actually gonna do? We're gonna keep streaming. So if you're watching this live, we're not ending stream. If you're watching this as a YouTube VOD, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off right here. You'll have to wait for the next upload. This video that you're watching right now is gonna be our penultimate one, and you'll just have to keep your eyes open for the finale. So, goodbye, YouTube. Be kind to one another, be kind to yourselves, be safe, and as always, peace out.